Welcome back to Archer's World of Literature, guys, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to be like, Archer, you wore that same t-shirt in yesterday's video. Well, that's because I am going nuts. I'm recording 2 videos in one day, and so yeah, this one's going to be released tomorrow. Today, as of filming, is the 27th, so the Christmas Carol video came out on the 27th. I just released that. This one is going to come out tomorrow, which for you will be today, the 28th, but also possibly yesterday if you're watching after the 20th. You know what I mean. Let's get to the video. So I'm going to be doing my December 2022 book haul, all the things I got. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter video. It's been a bit of a slow month. I've had to really knuckle down and stop myself from buying books because just some things are getting costly. I'll just put it that way in Australia. So I've had to sort of limit my book buying for a little bit until I can save a bit of money. I'm also possibly going to be moving out of my current apartment, so I need to save up some bond and some rent and just get some savings under my belt for that. So I have had to make the hard decision to not buy... Did I buy anything? I bought one thing. The rest are gifts. But to make the hard decision to only buy one book this month, which was very, very difficult. But yeah, I'm going to get into it. As it's Christmas period, most of these are gifts, pretty much all of them, except that one I did mention. So I want to highlight all the wonderful gifts that I got from my loving family and friends. So to start off with, my bloody incredible, amazing girlfriend, who I love very, very much, got me this amazing, I've wanted this for so bad. She got me the Penguin Modern Classics book by Henry Elliott. So it is literally an entire reference book sorted out by country, and then sorted out by author. And it goes into a bit of detail about every author that the Penguin Modern Classics collection has released books for in the Modern Classics collection. And it goes into detail on their works and a history of the influence and stuff. It is just insane. It's so cool. So yeah, I'm going to spend all of next year flicking through this one. And I know it's kind of like, oh, people always complain about the TBRs never ending, and then you'd go and do this. And it's like, you just can't help it, right? I think with this, how it's separated into country, because I really want to be someone, it's actually unintentionally in my channel name, Archer's World of Literature. I'm someone who has read a few sort of books from different countries, but I want to read works from every country that has published works from that country. So the fact that this is split up into country, this is going to, I think, diversify and broaden my reading and the types of literature that I explore greatly. So I'm in love with this book. So I'm not going to say your name on camera because I know you probably don't want me to, and you're a bit camera shy, but you know who you are. I love you, and thank you so much for this. I'm in love with this book, and I cannot wait to start flicking through it. So next up, from my amazing friend Jaden the Street Poet, whom you all know is one of my really close friends. He actually got me 3 of these little cloth-bound classics, and I can't believe he went and did that. You really shouldn't have, man. And he was talking to me about it when I was visiting him at work one day, and he's like, oh, look at these things, something else you can collect and spend money on, haha. And then he presented me with these 3, so thank you, but also thank you. Now I've got another thing to collect, but no, in all seriousness, these are gorgeous, and I love them. They're sort of shorter stories and stuff, and I'm glad that they're presented in this nice collection so they can match the bigger works. So he got me Edgar Allan Poe, The Mask of the Red Death. Don't know all that much about him, but I know he's a pioneer for horror. And then he got me Shirley Jackson, The Lottery, which some of you might know I didn't really like Haunting of Hill House, surprisingly, but I've heard that this is a short story collection, and he said some of the short stories in here are beautiful, and it's just a great combination of work. So looking forward to getting to that at some point. And then he got me this one, which I haven't heard of the author or the title, but the title's really, really cool and sounds up my alley. This is Carson McCullers' The Ballad of the Sad Cafe. How awesome does that sound? The Ballad of the Sad Cafe. So thank you very much, Jaden. You shouldn't have gotten me all these, man. I'm very grateful to have you as a friend, and I love those editions. So thank you. Next up, this is what is this? Yeah, this is my final that's my final gift that I was given in person. The next ones are gift card purchases, but this one is from my lovely friend Isla from Isla Reads. and she got me To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. If you watch my 12 Friends, 12 Books video, I'm going to be reading To the Lighthouse in February because it's one of Isla's favourite books. And the concept of that video was to understand my friends a little bit more through the types of literature that they indulge themselves in and enjoy. And she knew that I didn't actually have a copy of it and I was going to be starting it in February. So she got me this awesome copy. I love the cover. On the back, it's got a key of the lighthouse, the sea, the beach, all the sort of like nautical, is that a word? Nautical terms. Really love this one. So thank you so much, Isla. You're a legend. And I can't wait to get to that in, when do we say we're doing it? February, yeah. So thank you. So now I'm going to be getting onto also gifts, but slightly different. These are things I got with gift cards that I received for Christmas from family and friends. So I got gift cards and I went and picked these ones up myself. And I'm telling you, this whole haul, all these gifts and everything I've got is some of my favorite editions of books. I got some really gorgeous things this month, so I'm very, very grateful. But to kick off my first gift card purchase, I went ahead and I did it. I stopped procrastinating. I'm doing it in March. I need my own copy. I need this gorgeous copy, but I was procrastinating because I was just intimidated by, when you get it in hardback, it makes it look a lot bigger. But we have Tolstoy, War and Peace, this brick of a cloth-bound classic. Like, look at the text. There's like 1,300 pages of this. I've heard it's not hard, right? And I'm not expecting it to be hard. I've heard it's just long. So I reckon once I really get into it, I'm going to really enjoy my time there. But I had to get this because I'm going to be doing this as my first read-along for my huge classics read-alongs that I'm going to be starting. So I spoke to a few people on the Discord who've already got their copies and are going to be joining in. It's really nothing like official or formal. It's sort of just, I'm reading this for the first time. And it's a huge deal of a classic. So if you want to read it for the first time along with me, jump in the Discord and text me when we're at certain chapters and stuff and how we're feeling along the way and sort of track it. That's pretty much all it is. So if you're interested in doing that, go borrow a copy from the library at that time, or get your own secondhand copy, or get a cloth bound, whatever you want to do. And I'd love to have you along on the read along. Also going to be buddy reading this with Isla, who I mentioned before, in real life. Yes, we're going to be doing that together. Next up, I got 2 Murakami books. One of my, what would I say? He's definitely in my top 3 favorite authors of all time. I got his, they've released, Vintage Classics have released these deluxe special edition hardbacks of his books. And I picked up my favorite book of all time. You guys know what it is. Norwegian Wood. In this hardback. Look at the little guy standing there and the red of the sky. The pink is my favorite color, so it's just, it's gorgeous. And it's got this little wrap around here, so you can take that off, and it looks just as good. It's got the Japanese title on the back as well. It's just, it's so nice. Actually, that really does feel quite, I wonder if they did that on purpose, because having this slip, because I've been to Japan, and I've been to bookstores in Japan, having this slip feels very Japanese. Like when I have actually bought a couple of books when I was in Japan. They all had these sleeves on it with, sort of, I don't really know the point, but they add a little bit of special quality, special flavor to it. So I wonder if they did that for this, but nonetheless, just owning this special edition, because now this is my second copy. I want to reread it, I really do. It's been a year since I've read it, but I might have to break my TBL. We'll see how we go. I'll try and maintain my strength, but and then next up, I actually got this yesterday with my final book voucher. I picked up Murakami's latest book, which I hadn't gotten yet. And usually I wait till the paperback comes out, but I was like, this hardback is quite nice. And I want to read it quite ASAP. This is Murakami, Novelist as a Vocation, not as vocation. Novelist as a Vacation. I've filmed the video today and I've lost all my words on this second one, but bear with me, thank you. Yes, this is a Harville Secker hardback for his latest release, and he goes into, it says on the back here, a charmingly idiosyncratic look at writing, creativity, and the author's own novels. So this he's already got a biography. It's what I talk about when I talk about running, and I think that's about how he was in New York and started made writing his career. And made his jazz bar and was, doing all those things. More like his life story. This is sort of more about him as a writer and what he does to get in a creative space, and his recommendations on how you can find more time to write and stuff. So as someone who's writing at the moment, that's really, really going to help me. So I can't wait to get into that. And I mean, look at the inside. Look at that. All the illustrations from the covers of his new book, like covers of his older works. Look at that. Like Sputnik Sweetheart over here. What else we got? So gorgeous. So yeah, that is that one. And that was all of my gift card purchases now. But then this last one, oh my god, this is one of my favorite books that I own now. This is just so gorgeous. So, give me 1 second. I'm going to get down and pick it up because this one's heavy. This one's really, really heavy. So, I actually picked this one up yesterday, and now this was the only one of this month that I actually bought myself. And the reason I bought it myself is because I traded in my old phone. It was really, really old, so they only gave me like 50 bucks. So that was literally just bonus money. And Dimmicks was having a Boxing Day sale where it was 20% off absolutely everything, and it was just like, I couldn't. This book is actually, for what it is, when you're about to see it, it's actually, it's already quite cheap. It's very, very, very cheap at how big it is and how heavy and the amount of content inside. It's already very cheap. It was $56, but then with the sale it was about $48.50, which is just mental, like absolutely insane. And you're gonna be like, oh, that's kind of expensive for like a book. Look at this. This, as I have said before about big books, is a murder weapon. Everything else in the past that I've said, War and Peace, that's not a murder weapon. This is a murder weapon. This is huge. This is the Cambridge Centenary Ulysses, the 1922 text with essays and notes edited by Catherine Flynn. Obviously, Ulysses is by James Joyce. Look at that. This is probably my favorite book that I own now. Like this, it's just too, it's insane. I can't talk about it highly enough. It's got episode by, I can't even hold it up, episode by episode. It's got maps, it's got pictures of Dublin, it has, it breaks up the text, so the pages of the actual book are like the same, as they would be on normal book, but then they've got footnotes and essays at the end, and it's crazy. And then if I take off the dust jacket, it looks just as good like that. Like, look at that. It was $48. Like, you can't tell me that that's not worth it. That is insane. The amount of scholarly contribution that's in there and how big it is, that is a very worthy purchase. So that's my favorite book, physical book that I own. It might not be my favorite book, even though it is one, but my favorite physical book I own, I think it might have to go to this. It's just gorgeous. So, thank you very much. Ugh. Maybe I should stop filming 2 videos in one day. Thank you so much for watching. Not sure if this, obviously this is a bit of a shorter one than usual because I do have quite a bad book buying habit, but I've actually done really well and stopped doing that for a little bit. I've honed myself in, calmed myself down a little bit. But because of Christmas, most of these were gifts, and I thank each and every one of you who gave me these gifts and the gift cards and stuff. You mean the world to me. I had a great Christmas and got some really, really good books, so I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. Let me know in the comments what you got for Christmas or what you purchased for yourself in the month of December, and I look forward to speaking to you there. So, as I always like to say, keep reading and peace out.